This is Sharm El Sheikh, Egypt. Over the past 6 months, Sharm El Sheikh has played host to 2 international conferences, and now it is at it again, this time for the Africa2018 Forum. I arrived a day earlier than scheduled and head straight for what will be my first interview. Ms. Chilese Kapwepwe is the first Women Secretary General of the Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa, COMESA. I asked her about the role of women in the African agenda.
I think that there's a critical role for women to play in the development agenda for Africa, because firstly we make up obviously around about half of the population, so if we're not involved, we are not using quite a large proportion of the skill base and the experience that women bring to these positions. Secondly, I think diversity is important in decision making, and it's been proved that even, for example, in corporate board, where you do have diversification, you have much more gender sensitive and diversified decision making.
With my interview with her gone well, the stage now seems set for this coverage. It is the first day right here in Sharm El Sheikh for what is a 2-day conference called the Africa2018, and we have over 1,000 people comprising of some heads of state, policymakers and business leaders from across the continent, all convened to talk about intra-Africa trade and several development issues on the continent. On this day, there are 2 events, one on youth, the other on a women policy agenda.
At the pace at which we are going, it will take us 200 years to achieve equality. So the other solution is affirmative action. Where it was done before, like 30% members of parliament are women seats, and they are in the constitution, so this has been done. It had to be implemented. So it's just a matter of now moving that figure from 30 to 50 and saying, how do we make it work? And it can work.
We need more women representative, greater representation, greater voice for women in policy making, in civil society, in the private sector. And I think these things all need to come together. You ask about how will this affect our girl children? Of course it will. But it will also make it better for boys. So at the end of the day, everybody wins. That's my point.
The discussions from women then moved on to economic matters on the second day. I speak with some business leaders and ask them what it will take to boost trade and investment in Africa.
I think it has to be a win-win situation, and I see that all the time when we've got British companies coming in, setting up partnerships, setting up joint ventures, and really innovating with their business models, so that we're seeing not just profits but also investment in communities. We're seeing investment in technology, investment in the local workforce, so that we're seeing that skills transition as well. And that for me is win-win. So we're building African business for the future, because I want to see more African products, more African services in the UK market as well.
If the interstate or intrastate trade is carried out as it should be, because the UMOA is about 100 million people and the CEDUA is about 300 million people, then this is a big market. If the trade develops well between our different states, I think that each state will profit from it.
With over 200 startups represented, many showcasing their products and services at an exhibition, business is booming. But also, is it on the streets of Sharm El Sheikh?
Some time was not, but now we are the best. We have now a lot of something make it in Egypt. A lot of people now work.
Between Mubarak and Fattah Sisi was nothing, and with Fattah Sisi will start now, and everything will be step by step little up than before.
For many here, it is only right that their businesses see increase with the influx of economic leaders to their city. After all, charity, they say, begins at home.